In one of the most talked about legal battles in recent hip-hop history, rapper A$AP Rocky emerged victorious in a trial that had everyone from die-hard fans to casual onlookers scrutinizing every detail. The trial, which captivated audiences for weeks, pitted a high-profile defendant against a prosecution built almost entirely on the testimony of a single, highly questionable witness. This video delves into the dramatic events leading up to the trial, examines the conflicting narratives presented in court, and explains how Rocky's composed demeanor and a series of crucial inconsistencies in the prosecution's case ultimately led to his acquittal. A high-stakes showdown in the world of hip-hop. A$AP Rocky has long been a dominant figure in hip-hop, known not only for his musical talents but also for his unmistakable style and magnetic stage presence. His personal life, often splashed across tabloids and social media, has also been a subject of intense public interest. While rumors have frequently swirled about his relationship with international superstar Rihanna, it is important to clarify that despite widespread media speculation, the two are known to be romantically linked rather than legally wedded. Such high-profile associations have only amplified the spotlight on every facet of Rocky's life, including the courtroom drama that recently unfolded. The trial in question was not merely a legal proceeding, it was a cultural event. For 3 tense weeks, fans and critics alike followed every twist and turn as the legal battle unfolded in a Los Angeles courtroom. With every day of testimony, the stakes grew higher not only for Rocky's career but also for the broader conversation about celebrity accountability and the standards of evidence in high-profile cases. The incident, a night of escalating tensions. On November 6, 2021, tensions escalated near Vista del Aire and Selma Avenue in Los Angeles when A$AP Rocky met with longtime friend Ray. A meeting meant to settle old issues quickly spiraled into violence. Surveillance shows Rocky waiting with 2 acquaintances, A$AP Ills and A$AP 12, as the conversation degenerated into a physical altercation. According to Ray, Rocky abruptly shifted to an aggressive stance, grabbing Ray by the collar before producing a black semi-automatic handgun. He allegedly held the weapon to Ray's chest, then returned it to his waistband and walked away. Unwilling to let the matter rest, Ray followed Rocky, who then reportedly turned and fired a shot from about 16 feet away, grazing Ray's left hand. Nearby surveillance captured sound suggestive of 2 gunshots, although the visuals remain unclear. The crux of the prosecution's argument. From the outset, the prosecution's case leaned heavily on the testimony of Ray, whose account of the night was the central pillar upon which the entire case rested. According to court records, Ray's version was corroborated only by fragments of blurry surveillance footage and the audio of gunshots detected by cameras situated on Vista del Aire Avenue. The defense, however, was quick to point out that the physical evidence was, at best, circumstantial. A critical element in the prosecution's argument was the claim that Rocky had used a live firearm during the altercation. To bolster this claim, Ray presented 2 shell casings that he said he discovered at the scene roughly 52 minutes after the alleged shooting. Prosecutors argued that the presence of these casings, along with the recorded audio of gunshots, provided enough forensic evidence to charge Rocky with assault with a firearm. Yet, as the trial unfolded, it became increasingly clear that the case against Rocky was riddled with contradictions. Despite Ray's assertions, no actual firearm was ever recovered. For a charge hanging on the use of a deadly weapon, the absence of the gun itself presented a glaring hole in the prosecution's narrative. Moreover, the alleged shell casings raised further suspicions, especially since the police, who were first on the scene, reported no evidence of such casings when they initially responded to the reports of a shooting. The defense's counter-narrative, a prop, not a weapon. Faced with a prosecution built almost entirely on one man's word, Rocky's defense team seized upon every inconsistency in Ray's testimony. Their counter-narrative was both compelling and, to many observers, entirely plausible. The defense argued that the firearm in question was not a real weapon, but merely a prop used on a music video set, a device designed to create a dramatic effect without any lethal potential. One key witness, known as A$AP 2, took the stand to testify that the gun had been a non-functional prop and that it had discharged only blanks, if at all. Further undermining Ray's credibility, another defense witness asserted that Ray was well aware the gun was fake. According to this testimony, Ray had overblown the seriousness of the encounter, perhaps motivated by financial gain. After all, Ray was not only the lone eyewitness but also someone with a pending civil lawsuit against Rocky, a detail that raised serious questions about his motivations. If Ray stood to profit from the legal proceedings, could his version of events be entirely trustworthy? Rocky's own attorney, Joe Tacopina, acknowledged that surveillance footage did capture Rocky firing shots that night. However, instead of denying the act, Tacopina reframed the context by emphasizing the nature of the weapon. The argument was simple yet powerful. If the gun was indeed a prop, then the entire charge of assault with a firearm crumbles. This key distinction between a live, deadly weapon and a harmless prop became the linchpin of the defense's case. Inconsistencies that undermined the prosecution. As the trial progressed, the cumulative weight of the evidence began to favor the defense. Each day in court brought to light more discrepancies in Ray's testimony and the physical evidence or lack thereof. One of the most damning issues was the timing of Ray's report. Rather than notifying the authorities immediately after the incident, Ray allegedly waited 2 days before filing a report. When he finally did come forward, he brought with him the aforementioned shell casings, which he claimed were evidence of a shooting. Yet police records from that night stated that no shell casings were found during their initial sweep of the scene. Adding another layer of doubt was the handling of Ray's injuries. Despite claiming that he had been grazed by a bullet, Ray did not seek emergency treatment in Los Angeles. Instead, he left the scene and flew back to New York, where he later obtained treatment. This decision cast further uncertainty over the severity of his injuries, and by extension, the veracity of his account. Even the digital evidence, the text messages reviewed by the court, did little to bolster the prosecution's case. These messages, sent by Ray before and after the incident, appeared to focus more on monetary gain than on seeking justice. When pressed about the authenticity of these messages, Ray claimed they had been doctored, adding yet another layer of ambiguity to his narrative. The defense meticulously highlighted these inconsistencies, portraying Ray not as a credible victim, but as an opportunist looking to exploit the situation for his own benefit. The portrayal was stark. While Rocky maintained a composed, professional demeanor throughout the trial, Ray's erratic behavior and contradictory statements painted him as unreliable, a fact that resonated strongly with the jury. The turning point. Reasonable doubt takes center stage. The defense dismantled the prosecution's case by highlighting the lack of concrete evidence, most notably the missing firearm. Without a tangible weapon, the claim that Rocky fired a lethal shot lost credibility. Additionally, the prosecution's heavy reliance on Ray's uncorroborated testimony, paired with ambiguous audio evidence that wasn't supported by clear video or forensic results, left the entire case riddled with inconsistencies. This persistent reasonable doubt ultimately tipped the scales in favor of Rocky, as the jury questioned whether the prosecution's narrative could truly meet the high standard of conviction beyond a reasonable doubt. The verdict and its aftermath. After weeks of contentious testimony, the jury delivered a verdict that sent shockwaves through both the legal and hip-hop worlds. A$AP Rocky was found not guilty on all charges. The decision, seen as a vindication of both his innocence and the principle that celebrities deserve a rigorous standard of proof, brought palpable relief to the rapper. Rocky expressed heartfelt gratitude to the jury as he exited the courtroom, marking a turning point from a potential plea deal that would have cost him 6 months in jail versus a prosecution demand of up to 20 years. Now, with the trial behind him, Rocky is shifting his focus back to his career, preparing his first solo album since 2018, headlining major festivals like Rolling Loud, and even taking on a film role. That's a wrap on our deep dive into A$AP Rocky's verdict. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe, and don't forget to ring the notification bell so you never miss an update. Drop your thoughts in the comments. What do you think this verdict means for the future of hip-hop? Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.